where the stories are told. Warrior hearts beating brave and bold. Small town pride in the air we breathe. The spirit of the game will never leave. Forever and always go Warriors, we shout. With fans in the stands, there's never a doubt. Game day Saturdays where memories ignite. Under the lights we fight the good fight.
Welcome to this episode of the Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast. We're back in the groove. We're season 5, episode 2. Troy,
That is correct. We are in our second episode now of the 5th season. We've been doing this for 5 years. Does that seem right?
No, it really doesn't.
I mean, it was after COVID, so it was. I mean, that's when we did it. So it's been 5 years. This is the beginning of it.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's happening.
Long time, and it's nice to be back in the saddle. And I know that today's Thursday, and had the luxury of spending a little bit of time with some of the guys in the locker room. They were getting equipment, getting ready for Monday when their world is going to be changing.
All right.
Yes, and it's a lot of good things. But yeah, a few of the guys said, hey, watch the episode. So
yeah,
I think they like watching it more than they like listening.
Yeah, they do. My wife does too. She likes watching it on YouTube. So I feel like I've seen it a lot.
I mean, I really don't want to make you feel uncomfortable, but is it? Because of me.
It is. Yeah, for sure. 100%. Yeah.
Hello.
I'm going to turn the camera on to you now. Come back to me here with my bald head. Decided not to wear a hat today.
Whoa.
But look, bald is beautiful. And we've seen it in the last episode.
Yes.
Head coach, he's sporting the same haircut that I've got.
Yeah.
And now we're going to meet the offensive coordinator who's got the same haircut I got.
Our associate head coach, he's got one of those tight haircuts that everybody loves. Apparently, around. I'm going to have to shave my head.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to have to shave my head. So, I guess without any further ado, folks, we're pretty excited. We told you last week, the associate head coach, the offensive coordinator, the man that's going to run this machine coming up this fall is Coach Jermaine Gales.
Here he is.
Coach, welcome, man.
Welcome to the Gridiron Club.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
Well, it's fun for us too. This is the first time I met you when you came into the studio, and so it's nice to put a face with a name. I noticed that on the website there's not a face to the name yet, so we got to get that picture up there. So we want to make sure that everybody recognizes you when you're walking around town. Yeah. How's that been for you so far?
It's been awesome. It's been an awesome experience coming into Forest City. Running into folks in the store. I frequent Quick Start for my morning coffee, and everybody in there is so nice. I think they know me by name and face by now, but I haven't met a stranger, so it's exciting. My wife and I talk about that on a regular basis, and she's excited to be here as well.
Well, tell us a little bit about. Might as well get into that right away. Before we start talking football? You got your wife, and what's her name?
Kizzy Gales.
Kizzy Gales.
Kizzy Gales.
Oh, that's
great name.
That is a great name.
So, and that just kind of rolls off the tongue. So, what was her maiden name, if you don't mind me asking?
Kizzy Forrest.
I think Kizzy Gales has a better ring, don't
I
you,
do
Coach?
too. I do too.
Yeah. How long you folks been married?
21 years.
Wow, good for you.
Nice.
Good for
Very
you.
good.
Long haul.
Any kids or anything like that, or?
I've got 6 children.
All right.
And 7.5 grandchildren.
Nice.
Holy.
He's in the Grandpa Club.
Oh, yeah. Troy just became a grandpa. I've been a grandpa for not quite a year yet.
Yeah.
We're getting close, but
yeah, we had first one. Austin was born back in February, the beginning of February, and so I've only seen him once, but pretty impressed with him, and so yeah, boy, Andy. I mean, we've got something. Talk about. I mean, obviously with transition of coaching, new coaching staff. We've got, but now it's not just that. I mean, for the last few years, we have been talking about how young our coaching staff is, and now we've got some stalwart experience on our coaching staff, and Coach Gales coming in with the grandpappy title as well. That's pretty cool.
What is your grandpa title?
Paw-Paw.
Paw-Paw.
All right.
I'm Paw-Paw.
Very good.
Now, there's people around here that call me Papa Buff, but I don't subscribe. You know, and I was actually talking to Coach Gales in the locker room today, and said it's nice to have some folks around that are a little more seasoned that I can relate to.
Yeah.
Because like Danny Donadio was like the oldest coach, and I'm 22 years older than him.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, for the love of God. So it's finally nice that when I start talking about my problems, our associate and our head coach will be able to be like, yeah, I know what you're feeling. Well, these guys are in better shape than I am. So
yeah.
I don't know, maybe not.
Now I have to. Now, you said, did I hear you say 7.5? You got a grandbaby on the way.
I do. And
All right.
Funny story. I got to tell this story.
Yeah.
All right. So we go to Fayetteville, Arkansas this past weekend because it was my son's baby shower.
All right.
All right. Knowing that it was supposed to snow Sunday, we tried to get there and get back before,
Right.
it all broke loose. Well, didn't make it. Okay. We thought we were going to make it, but we get to Ames and they shut down Interstate 35.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So they sent us to Forest City coming 69 the back way.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. By the time I got to somewhere in the middle of those cornfields, right?
Yeah.
A lot of them.
There was zero visibility. Couldn't see. The wind was towering over. Almost blew my car over.
Yeah.
I tried to open the door, get out, and get ice off my windshield wipers.
Yeah.
Almost took me away. Thought I was going to Kansas.
Oh yeah. Well, you've got the right name for it. I mean, I'm sure you've heard that before. And Dorothy Gale. You're Gales though.
Yeah, Gales with an S.
Nest. Yeah.
But that was my first time driving through a blizzard.
Really?
I've never in my life seen anything like it.
Welcome to Iowa.
Is this the furthest north that you've coached?
Correct.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and it's a spring storm too, which makes it even more exciting because our opinion is like, well, we know it's coming, but we also believe, hopefully, that it's our last one. So like we see these spring storms come in, and we also know that it's going to be 77 degrees on Saturday. So it's like it just comes and goes. But boy, what a mess it made in the middle.
Yeah,
welcome to Iowa.
I know exactly. What a terrible way to welcome you to our beautiful state. But I'll tell you what, it's like I 100%, and I'll say this to everybody out there that's listening. It's my fault. I have to own that. The Sunday before the blizzard, I went and got my boat out of storage, thinking I'm going to go fishing here before too long. Well, that obviously didn't happen. So that's why it was the terrible blizzard. So
yeah, you took credit for it. I took my I don't know, our astute viewers will notice that I took the headphones off. You guys sound great, by the way. So I mean, I don't need to listen to it through the headphones. So I mean, now if something happens,
who
knows?
We'll figure it out later.
But yeah, well, let's get into some football talk. Last week when we were talking with Coach Callaway, he's a defense guy, and he's like we're gonna run vertical. So let's talk about your I guess on the offense. Let's talk about what you want to do.
Well, first thing that I want Warrior Nation to understand is we're going to do whatever we have to do to try to win football games.
Right.
Okay. There are certain things that we want to do, but right now we're trying to figure everybody out. I've got, a little less than 50 guys on offense right now that we're trying to evaluate, and that journey is going to start on Monday or Tuesday of next week. But ideally, I want to be able to throw the ball vertical. I want to back people up off of us. I want to be able to take what the defense is going to give me, and I want to be very efficient with the football and move it up and down the field and get it across that little white line a lot.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Warrior Nation definitely would appreciate that. You said that you had you want to get there's things you want to do, but you're going to do what you need to do to win.
Correct.
So I'm taking that as you are evaluating, like you said, what you've got, and you're gonna scheme based on the talent and the proficiencies of the players that you've got on hand as you develop that program. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes and no.
Okay.
But here's the thing. I'm going to install a system.
Yeah.
All right. The system is going to be installed, but which direction that goes depends on the type of personnel that we have.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
type of talent. I'm not going nobody's reinventing the wheel in football. So we have to figure out who's doing what the best and what people's talents are and individuals' shortcomings are, and then we got to stay away from the shortcomings and try to capitalize on the advantages that we can create with some of the guys that can do some things.
Yeah. So you talked about efficiencies as well and moving the ball efficiently. What do you mean by that? Is it a faster offense? Is it a huddle? How do you envision all
We're
that?
going to be up tempo, no huddle.
No huddle. Okay.
Spread up tempo, no huddle.
Yeah.
I want to get 90 plays a football game.
Oof, that's awesome.
So I'm trying to move, but we're not just going to move arrogantly. If we have the mechanism to slow down if we need to.
Sure.
We're going to try to keep negative plays off the table. We're going to try to use conditioning to our advantage.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to move the ball across that little white line a lot.
Yeah.
You hear me say that
Yeah.
over and over again. We're going to try to move it across that little white line a lot.
You have talk about you mentioned conditioning. So if you're no huddle and you're being purposeful with what you're accomplishing out there and trying to get those 90 plays in, conditioning is going to be a huge part of the entire offense, the entire team, really. Because if you're accomplishing getting across that white line, you're effectively then the defense is going to be in hopefully because you've scored and they're going to be right back in. So talk about what you and coach and just your staff is talking about as we enter into beginning spring ball, the conditioning and the processes that you're looking at and how that extends through the summer as they roll in either in July. Some of them will be in July, and then certainly everybody will be here at the end of July, beginning of August.
Well, the summer plans, like we have an idea what we want it to look like. I think coach is still trying to navigate some things. Ideally you want to have as many guys that, here on campus as that we can have. But we're going to take what we can get in that respect and try to make it better the second time around. But as far as the conditioning, our guys are going to have to understand that if we don't plan on conditioning after practice, we shouldn't have to because we're going to be moving that fast during practice. And we want to make Monday through Friday a little bit easier or a little bit harder than it is on Saturday. And so Saturday should be a little bit easier on the body because we're going to get it done during the week.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I'm not saying that it's like Baylor or anything like that, but I was thinking, Andy, we might have to get our chain gang. They might have to start conditioning a little bit more because they're going to have. You can move those chains, but they got to keep that tempo going. They're going to have to move those chains quick.
Yeah,
one of the things you will find, Coach, is that Waldorf University and actually the city of Forest City, even at the high school level, has the finest chain gang in the nation. And you will see that, and I will stand by that. These guys are
got their own cards, business cards.
Yeah, and they bring their own stuff, and they're just they're professionals, and they're a great group of friends. You'll get to know them this fall when we start doing the coaches show out at Shooters, I think.
We'll be out at Shooters. You bet.
Yep. So all those things. These guys are great, but yeah, they're. I think their youngest dude is probably Krutzinger, and he's probably in his late 40s, something like that.
Yeah.
But then you also have Arnie, who's over on the other side, 80s. These guys
they've been doing it a long time.
You're gonna love them. They're gonna love you.
I think I met one young man at the basketball game. I was standing there eating popcorn, and he kind of walked up to me. He was eating popcorn. I can't remember his name, so he's gonna have to forgive me for that one. But if he's listening, he'll know.
All right,
he'll know, and he'll let you guys know.
Well, and
greatest.
Yeah, Jorgen too. Jorgen's in there. I talked to him. We were at a track meet on Tuesday, and he was there, and he said he was watching he hadn't gotten all the way through, but he was watching the podcast last week as well. Really looking forward to the new coaching and the transition and what the team's looking like. He really liked what Coach Callaway had to say, and so yeah, those guys pay attention. Our fans pay attention, and they're there. You know, I don't know if you're aware of this, Coach, but we haven't had a win in over 2 years, and so but they're still out there. They're still tailgating, and they're in the stands, and they're at the weekly things on Wednesday nights at Shooters, and then we do the coaches show, Warriors Live, and so yeah, I think you'll find that the support is there. Now we're just really excited to see that scoreboard change a little.
Yeah, for sure. And I'd be interested, Coach, how Coach Callaway talked you into moving up to the Tundra in the middle of a blizzard. I mean, did he make any progress? Does he I mean, he's known you for a while, obviously. You've coached against each other. But I don't know. How did that happen?
We have a good competitive spirit. You know, we faced off against each other, while we were in the SWAC, and I actually tried to schedule a contest with him when I was at Lincoln. It just didn't G and haw, it didn't work out, but we maintained communication off and on over the course of the following couple of years, right? And he ended up at University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, and I had a young man that I coached that ended up being on the same staff as a graduate assistant.
Yeah.
And so we kind of reconnected. Once that happened, we just, I congratulated him on getting the job here. And at the time, I was, really wanting to change what I was doing. So I just didn't think I was going to be in Forest City, Iowa.
None of us do.
And so, for me, it's about, I accept challenges.
Mm-hmm.
I bet on myself a lot. And, sometimes it doesn't work out. All right. But that's part of the fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of the fun. You don't take, excuse me, I need a hamburger or something. I need a cheeseburger. Y'all got a pizza or something.
Yeah.
No. But, it was a deal to where I knew that there's something that could be done well between the two of us together. So why not? Why not Forest City? Why not Waldorf? And, Coach Callaway is a great dude.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great guy. He's totally transparent, which is what, one of the attributes that you like to have in a person that you're working for. So why not? And we're kind of the same way. I'm going to be totally transparent as well with the guys that I work with. We bounce ideas off of each other. But at the end of the day, my job is to get Coach Callaway's vision out onto that 53 and a third and 120 yards long so we can win.
How many years of coaching do you have? Because Callaway was saying this is 27 or 28 years for
27, I think.
Yeah, and then
so this will be 23 for me.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, look at that. You got over 50 years of coaching experience, and your top two guys, and so that's gonna. You're already seeing how we talked about it last week, like when Callaway came in, you could tell that he was nose to the grindstone. This isn't his first rodeo, and getting things set up and prioritizing, and obviously met with the kids all in the first week and did that, but then was out hitting the recruiting, finding the coaching, getting the staff in where he wants it to be, and then you're coming in with the 23 years of experience yourself. How does that when you come into a new program for you? How does that experience, like, what are your priorities? How do you roll in, and you just say, well, I'm setting down my bags, here's where I go?
Well, I think what I believe is that when you come on, an institution's campus, you have to start to develop relationships right away, because you can't do what you do as a football coach by yourself. All right. And it starts with the young men that you're going to be in command of. It's one thing to be in charge of a group of young men, but it's another thing to be a leader of that group of young men. And so you have to develop the relationships with those guys from them all the way across campus. All right, because this is it's a project that's going to require all hands on deck. And, you know, so if you can get that, then you can start to venture off and see how the individuality plays into everything. So yeah, I'm installing a system, all right, but I got to make sure that those guys know me and trust me in order for them to execute the system.
Excellent. So we talked a little bit about, 23 years. Talk about a little bit where you came from. I think you grew up in California,
did.
Los Angeles area, something like that. So, talk about your journey through some of the different schools, where you got your start in coaching. And I know you played for two different schools, one in California and then Southern Arkansas, I believe, is where you finished up your college playing career. So, yeah.
Yes, sir. So I grew up in Los Angeles, California, 83rd and Broadway to be exact. I could walk to the Fabulous Forum where the Lakers played. And you know, if you've been out there, you know that if you travel down Broadway, you can hit South Central Los Angeles and Inglewood are like right next door. So I would go there on a regular basis. It's probably a 3-mile clip there for me to get to the Forum. I went to high school at a couple of different places. Had to bus outside of LA just because of in the 90s, late 80s, early 90s. I think gang banging was
rough.
an all-time high.
It was rough out there.
So my mom wanted to keep me away from that, so she tried to put me in the best situation. So I bussed outside. So I ended up going to high school in Hacienda Heights, California, and Whittier, California. So I did that. Didn't take the SAT or ACT, not one time. At that time, you needed like a 820 or 700 or something like that to play college sports. But also, you could go to junior college and get an associate's degree and automatically be eligible when you left.
Nice.
So that's the route that I took. I was a late bloomer in football. I thought I was a basketball player. So, one thing led to another. I get a scholarship coming out of Mount San Antonio College, which is where I went to junior college at. Once I graduated from California high school and went from there. I went all the way to Arkansas, sight unseen. Didn't take any recruiting visits, just bet on myself. I told you I like to bet on myself.
Yeah.
So I went out there and became a 2-year starter. And, once I'd done that, it took me 8 more years to graduate. So I could be a doctor right now.
Yeah.
You know what? We share something else in common. I only went to school for 7 years.
A lot of people go to school for 7 years.
I know. They're called doctors.
I know. It's get though.
Right. And I was the same
Tommy
way.
boy.
I went, graduated from Waldorf, went to the University of Northern Iowa for a little bit. That didn't work out. And we've told that story way too many times. Ended up moving back home, taking classes at Buena Vista at North Iowa Area Community College, went back to UNI. That didn't work out even again. Moved back home, worked at Winnebago Industries for a little bit, and then finally finished my last 2.5 years in Maryville, Missouri at Northwest Missouri State. So I went to school a long time too, Coach, and I think it made me more intelligent, and I think that's probably true of you as well.
Well, it did something to me. I think I'm still breathing and walking around, so we're good.
Yeah,
What position did you play?
I was a receiver.
Okay, yeah.
I was a wide receiver. So once I did that, all right, I went home to California and was managing hotels after I graduated. So I ended up graduating. I graduated high school in 92, ended up getting my bachelor's degree in 2002.
Okay.
Changed major 3 or 4 times. I've got a biology major. And so I couldn't pass university chemistry. So I passed it on the 5th time and was able to graduate.
Nice.
And then I'm managing hotels in Escondido, Oceanside, California. I'm living in Escondido at the time. My brother is a Navy corpsman at Camp Pendleton at the time.
Okay.
And so I'm living with him, trying to find my way. Just graduated from college. I'm trying to figure it out. So I get this job at a hotel. I'm an assistant general manager. And a year and a half into it, the offensive line coach, when I was playing, called me because he had just got the head coaching job and said, "Hey, how'd you like the free master's degree?" And I say, "What do you mean? I don't understand." Like I didn't know. I was green. He says, "Well, I need a receiver coach, and you have all the attributes that I'm looking for. Yada yada, the whole spiel." All right. So I go and I say, "Hey, where do I sign up?" He's like, "I just need you here in the middle of July. I need you here July 15th. It was the end of May at the time. I jump in my little Isuzu Trooper, my wife and my kids, and we drive 23 hours it was. Stopped one time.
Where was that school? What school was that? Where were you going? You said you Arkansas?
I was going back to Southern Arkansas.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah.
I was at Southern Arkansas University. Sorry,
Yeah.
I thought I mentioned
No, that's
that.
all right.
It's all good.
Southern Arkansas University is my alma mater.
Okay, sure.
So I get there, and turns out that my GPA was a little bit lower than what was required to get into grad school.
Yeah.
So I had to do a semester as a student assistant. All right, but here's the thing. I had my own position room as a student assistant.
Nice.
So they turned me loose, and couldn't get the GA salary and all that stuff. So what they did for me is that back then you had to do film exchange. We didn't have Huddle. We didn't have all that. That we had DVDs and VHS tapes.
Right. Yeah.
And so if it was a long ways, you had to put it under the Greyhound bus. If it was, driving distance, you were able to drive and meet a coach and physically change hands, do the film exchange. And so that's how I got paid. I got paid mileage to do film exchange for that first semester.
Wow.
And so I just retake a couple of classes, and then got into grad school that next semester. Well, once that happened, once I got into grad school, I got my master's degree in a year in the summer. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
but both my bachelor's and my master's is at Southern Arkansas University.
And that is right down, that is about as far south as you can get in Arkansas. I mean, that thing is right on the border, isn't it?
Yep, right. We're right in the corner of Texarkana, Texas, Shreveport, Louisiana, Haynesville, Louisiana. It's right on the southern border, right there north of Louisiana.
Talk to me a little bit about, so I mean, obviously you made an impression on that coach who called you up out of the blue. It had been a few years since you'd played. I mean, right, because you played for him a couple of years, and then you still had to go on beyond that to finish your bachelor's degree. So it'd been a while, but it stuck in his craw that that you had these attributes. What were those attributes? And I mean, talk.
All right.
Yeah. What do you?
All right. So I don't tell this story often, but I'll tell you guys because it's
Nobody will
not
see
something
this.
not something that you want to brag about. Anyhow, when I get there, I'm fresh off the plane, coming from Los Angeles, California, to a place that I've never seen or barely heard of, But once they said scholarship, I was all in. So I get there. I'm on campus less than 2 weeks. I got involved in intramural basketball, right? So I'm playing basketball. We hadn't even started weightlifting yet for the semester. So I was there a week before the semester started over Christmas. And about 3 weeks into the season, I joined this basketball team playing intramural basketball, and we got in a little brawl, like a little scuffle incident. I fall off the bleachers and break my hand.
Oh,
Whoops.
I'm a wide receiver that just got a scholarship.
yeah.
Coaches
And it was a
love
full scholarship. Now,
Yeah.
I didn't have to pay one dime to go to school. I get there, and now your investment's got a broken hand. All right, so because I know, where I come from, those are hard to come by, right? I had to go to the doctor. Didn't have to have surgery or anything, but they put a hard cast on me. All right. With that hard cast, I still had my fingers and my thumb exposed. All right. Never missed a day in the weight room. Never missed a practice.
Mm.
I went from 12th on the depth chart to 2nd on the depth chart in one spring with a broke hand and a cast on.
Those are some pretty good attributes, I'd say.
Made an impression.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So that was, and I don't tell that story because nobody believes me half the time. Yeah, you didn't catch no football with no cast on. If I tell these kids these days they're not going to believe Coach Gales. No, sir. No, sir. But that's honest to God. That's what happened. And,
Yeah.
So, one thing led to another. We kept in touch over the years. Once he got the head job, he called me. The offense that they were running, I knew, and he just kind of slid me in there, and then the rest is history.
Mm. Yeah. So you had this, I will say, I mean, just the stories that you've told thus far and the way that you've, I mean, talk about transparency. I mean, you said, that Coach Callaway is transparent, and you said you're transparent. I mean, I got to say, that's absolutely right. I mean, you're not pulling any punches. Listen, I didn't take the SAT or the ACT. I went to junior college. I did all of everything, and so how does that help you, and how has it helped you as a coach over 2 decades, while you relate to the players themselves?
Well, I try to relay this, and I tell this story to those guys, right, to the young men that I'm mentoring. It's not how you fall, it's how you get up. It's not how long it takes you to get it done, as long as you get it done. And so I'm trying to teach these young men the game of life as I'm coaching them. And, that I think that kind of helps, that they know that I've been through some trials, as we all do. But I'm a pretty good product, of the good Lord above right now. I feel good about my life.
Yeah.
And so I want those guys to feel the same way. I didn't have an opportunity to be at the BCS level, or when it was BCS or
Right.
Power 4 or whatever, but I made the most of what I had. And where I was at was the BCS or the FBS. You know what I mean? So, I just took advantage of those things, and I want them to see that and use that as an example to carry on with their lives.
Yeah, and you've had lots of opportunities at some of your different places. The SWAC is that's what a great conference. That is. Did you get to coach against Dion when he was there, or would you guys
No, I
miss each
didn't.
other? Okay.
Yeah, we missed each other. He was gone whenever I got back
Okay.
to the SWAC. Yes, sir.
All right. So talk a little bit about some of the different schools, the levels. Obviously, you've been up in the in FCS. You've kind of been all over the place in different levels. But talk about some of the other schools that you've been to.
Okay, well, so Southern Arkansas, we know about that. So I did. That was back in 2003. Did my grad work there. My first full-time job was at Mars Hill University in Mars Hill, North Carolina. Beautiful area. I was fortunate enough to do 2 4-year stints there.
Nice.
All right, so I learned under Jonathan Surratt, who's the offensive coordinator there, and he's still there. That staff there at Mars Hill is probably the longest tenured staff. It might be in the country.
Okay.
Because at the time, the head coach, Tim Clifton, he's retired now, but at that time he was there for like 25 years or something or another. I think he did almost 35 years there.
Wow.
If I'm not mistaken, and you don't see that very often anymore. But the defensive coordinator, Coach Kevin Barnett, was there longer than the head coach, and then the strength and conditioning coach was there just as long as him. And so you're talking about 2 decades of tenure, by more than just one person.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I got there. I stayed there 4 years. then was fortunate enough, because we were a pretty good football team, I was fortunate enough to get an opportunity for my first offensive coordinator gig at St. Augustine's College in Raleigh, North Carolina. Right there in the heart of Raleigh. First year there, we went 9-2, and first postseason appearance in ever, I think, or something like that. But that was a unique experience because the athletic director was the famous Pup Williams, who was had 32 at the time, had 32 national championships in track and field.
Wow.
And he was the head men's Olympic coach at one point in time for the USA.
Wow.
And yeah, it was
awesome.
It was a tremendous honor being on that campus with that man. So I was at St. Aug, and then I did 3 years there. Went back to Mars Hill because I loved it so much. It was up in the mountains, beautiful area, Asheville, North Carolina. If you've never been there, you should go visit. Biltmore Estates, those things that are up there. Yeah. Great place. After that, I go to North Carolina Central University, where I was the receivers coach under head coach Jerry Mack, who is now the head coach at Kennesaw State. When in 2016 we went undefeated in the MEAC and made it to the Celebration Bowl and lost to Grambling State in a nail biter. Do 2 years there. Then I go to University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff as the offensive coordinator. Went 2-9 our first year, and then we turned it around. Went 6-5 the second year. Then that was right before COVID hit.
Yeah.
Coach Thomas leaves. Things change as far as staffing, so I had to look elsewhere for employment. Right. Then I go to Bluefield, West Virginia. Bluefield State, all right, was probably one of my favorite jobs because we actually started it from the ground up. They use the term "we got it out the mud." We really got it out the mud, all right, because we helped design the mascot there, the Blue Dane. The Blue Dane, right? And we actually went and bought a live mascot. Like, they bought the live mascot, and we raised it.
It was a blue what?
Great Dane.
Oh, Blue Dane.
Yeah,
okay.
Blue Dane.
All right.
Blue Great Dane. We raised it up. We got it after it was weaned, obviously, but we raised it for almost a year. We raised it, and he became a huge dog, and then they finally took it and got it to where it could become a live mascot, got the training that was necessary, did all those things. We designed the first uniforms. We helped, the university didn't have dorms because it was commuter school back in the day, right? So the president had the foresight, right, to buy the hospital. He brought football back. His name was Robin Capehart, I'll never forget. Brought football back before they had dorms. Had a plan to put up dorms, but they were drilling and doing some things with trying to get the foundation and stuff for the building, and they realized that it was some kind of rock down there that they couldn't get through. So the site where the building was going to be they couldn't build on it anymore.
Okay.
Now they probably fixed it now because I think they got some things done, but he bought a hospital. They bought a hospital that was maybe a quarter of a mile away and turned that hospital into a residence hall. All right. Craziest thing. I kid you not. Now, I'm going to just tell you this. I got plenty of stories.
So they had never had football.
They had football 40 years ago.
Oh. And
at the time.
Brought it back.
At the time. They brought it back
okay.
after a 41-year hiatus.
But they didn't have did they have other sports?
Yeah, they had other sports.
And they were also Blue Danes. Or no,
there
was
was
no
Big
mascot?
Blue. The mascot was the Big Blue.
Okay. And
so we developed the Blue Dane.
Where is that? Where in West Virginia is it?
Bluefield, West Virginia.
Bluefield
Shares the state line is West Virginia and Virginia. So
Okay.
there's a Bluefield, Virginia, and a Bluefield, West Virginia.
That's amazing.
And there's 2 colleges like 5 minutes from each other.
And we have one of our competitors that we play in this conference. They started back in They started in COVID, and that was Mount Marty, I believe.
Mount Marty, yeah.
Mount Marty started. They had never had football before. Stood it up. They had other sports and things like that. But so it seems. Waldorf's had football since 1920 in one form. I mean, we were back in the day when they were playing they were at college and they're playing high school teams, just to get 6 games a year or whatever they were playing,
Right.
So that is exciting. I mean, tell us a little bit more about that, because how long were you there?
I was there for a whole year.
Okay.
A whole year. Opportunity came that I could be the next head coach at Lincoln University in Missouri. So I had to jump all over that opportunity. Several people told me not to take that job, but again, what am I going to say about myself?
Yeah.
I'm going to bet on myself every single
Absolutely.
time. Great experience, great people, learned a valuable lesson. I learned some things that are going to follow me for the rest of my existence, and it'll make me a better head coach for the next time around.
I mean, you stood up a program with the Bluefield. I mean, that's you had to. I mean, there's lessons that come along with that too. Even when you come into a transition even though the program's been around for a long time, you kind of starting a whole new program too. So
Yeah, really.
So what type of things come from that? You obviously don't have to pick out a mascot and things like that, but what type of things that you learn at Bluefield, applies to Waldorf?
Well, it's so if you talk to people that are involved in these types of situations, it's all about establishing the foundation. We call it culture, right? So we're in the process of establishing the culture, and Coach Callaway does a really good job of putting the standards down that we expect and providing ways for them to gain lessons on how to achieve those standards. Everything is a lesson. Everything is a lesson, from how we walk across campus to the things that we do in the morning workouts, and sometimes, like, if you sat back and looked at it, you'd say it's a setup, because the wheels are always turning. The wheels are always turning, and we seize opportunities to try to teach these guys a lesson. We call it moment of privilege. Like, that's what we're trying to get those guys to understand the little things. So starting from the ground up, paying attention to details and fundamentals, not just on the football field. We're not talking about football right now. We're talking about how to move. We're working out in the turf room. The thing that we're talking about is how to run more efficiently. Some guys didn't know how to run for real. So you got to start from the ground up, and that's what our strength staff is doing. We're teaching, and that's what we do. We're teachers, so we're teaching, and that's what you have to do when you're starting from scratch. You got to teach, because you can't move on from that point until you learn how to be efficient in your movements.
So does that make? I was trying to count them up as you were telling us. Is this your 8th program then
Count Lincoln?
I thought so. Maybe Lincoln was 8.
I was looking at your Wikipedia.
Is this 8 or 9?
This
1,
is 8.
2,
This
3,
is
4, 5.
So you and Callaway both have.
9. Yeah.
He said this is his 8th school as well.
Yeah,
So
well,
again,
I think if you count Mars Hill twice,
Actually, Southern
I just
Arkansas,
counts once. Yeah.
Mars Hill, St. Augustine, North Carolina Central, UAPB, Bluefield, Lincoln, Alcorn, Waldorf.
yeah. So this is 9.
Now we
This
got
is
to
9.
we got to
Okay.
go back to Southern Arkansas, because
Okay.
they have the coolest mascot name,
Okay, what is it?
The Mule Riders.
Mule Riders. Don't you
Don't ask me.
I don't
mule riders.
love that?
When I was there, we were riders.
Yeah.
So they
dropped the
changed
mule.
It from when,
No, we were always Mule Riders. But
he didn't want to be
the
known
short
for mule
the
riding.
short version of with the football team, we were just riders.
All right.
Just riders. But
I saw it and I thought that's pretty great.
Yeah.
I really like that. And, you know, I like things like that, you know.
What were their colors, or what are their colors?
blue and gold.
Blue and gold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, like your stint in Lincoln for a couple of years there, that you walked into a tough conference.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But I'm gonna just tell everybody in the world we didn't win a football game. Okay,
We know what that's like.
we didn't win a football game. All right, and we did not win a football game because we were not a good football team. We didn't win a football game because everybody else in the conference were really good football teams.
Yeah, I would say.
So imagine this. Imagine lining up against Northwest Missouri,
Pittsburgh
State,
Emporia,
Emporia,
Hayes,
all of those
all those
schools
guys.
with no bye weeks, no out of conference games. You're from the word go, it is conference.
It's tough.
And so I'm not ashamed of that. Like I'm not ashamed that we were in the MIAA, which is that's the SEC, a D2 football.
Oh man.
And I was proud to be part of that conference. I was proud of Dr. Kevin Wilson for bringing me on. I was it was a great experience. Those people that I met there are still friends to me today.
You bet. And so was there any consideration, like obviously, Waldorf, small school, and we're biased, but we truly believe that the GPAC in NAI football is best in the nation. Did that have any weight for you in making your decision?
Well, not really.
Okay.
Not really.
That's fair.
I'm not, each individual opportunity is different, right? So what made me make this decision was Coach Callaway. Nothing else,
That's great.
He asked me if, I reached out to him to congratulate him about the job. And I said, I texted him. I said, Coach, you all staffed up? He told me, he said, no, I hadn't done anything. And it was almost like he was surprised that I would even consider.
Wow.
But once we got to talking about it, each time we had a conversation, the more I wanted to come to Waldorf.
That's awesome. And it's a different feeling. You said the word culture. We've heard it many, many years. I mean, since we've been doing the podcast, we need to change the culture. We need to change the culture. We're working on the culture.
Or improve the culture.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not that it was. I have seen improvement in. Again, I'm entering my 7th season being part of this team, but I have seen improvements in the locker room, on the sidelines, a little bit every year, and from what Coach Callaway says, what you're saying, extremely tangible. I love the fact that. I shouldn't say I love the fact, but it's impressive that football is something we're going to do later. Right now, we're going to work on becoming young men that happen to play football.
Right.
Is that your overall philosophy on why you do this?
Yeah, well, I want to affect the lives of young men in a positive way. These kids that we deal with, it doesn't really matter what institution you're at. They need us. They need us. They need somebody because lots of these young men don't have families, don't have father figures, don't have one thing or another. It's not, sometimes it's not a storybook, right? They don't have 2 parents. They don't have some of them don't even have a $50,000 a year family income.
Right.
So they need somebody like us that they can vent to. They need somebody like us that, they can lean on. Yeah. And quite frankly, they're not going to care unless they know you care.
Right. And that again, that's the whole reason. And you and I, we only met just today. And I will tell you that, I've always said my job when it comes to the football players is love them unconditionally, give them
No doubt about it.
and be there, try to be solid for them. And that's, that's the nice part about my gig with Waldorf football is that I get to be part of it, but I'm not, if you know what I mean. It's like the X's and O's and all that other stuff, the conditioning and all those other things. That is 100% aside from everything that I do. I'm just trying to be there and like you said, be positive for those young men because it's important. I think it's very important. It's vital to what we do as a program.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Coach, we had 15 players come in at the semester. I think it was 15 that Coach Calloway said last week. How many of those are offense? And then I'll to tag on top of that. We had some receivers leave from the receiver core. How's the receiver core looking? Obviously, you've got great insight into what that needs to be, and then our QBs too. And I know our offensive line is. Seeing some people graduate and different things like that. So we got to build that up. You said you got 50 guys on offense right now that you're working with. Let's talk a little bit about that. Yeah, in that range. Yeah.
So with the transfers, I believe it's an even split. I believe we seven offense, 8 defense on the transfer guys that came in. I believe, and I could be wrong. It could be 8 offense, 7 defense, but it's right around there, pretty split down the middle. From the way it looks on paper, we've got some potential. All right, but again, we have to evaluate potential. Don't win any games. So so we're going to see over the course of this next 15 opportunities that we get across the spring. We're going to see who can do what. This is a heavy evaluation period for Coach Calloway and I. We're going to make sure that we're going to find out. We're going to find out. We're going to find out where the toughness lies. We're going to find out, who really doesn't want to be here. We're going to find out who really wants to be here. All of that will take place over the course of this next 3 weeks to a month.
You're going to move quick on your offense, no huddle. You got to have depth, and it's. The hardest people to find are linemen, and getting them in. So what's the strategy for that too? Because obviously conditioning you mentioned, but those are big boys. So like, what does the O line look like?
The O line, I think we have 10 in the fold right now that we can work with. We've got a couple of injuries that resulted in surgery, but. I think we have a good, solid core group of guys that we can work with over the spring. The goal is to teach everybody what to do, and then evaluate and find out where the toughness lies. Like I said, so teach them what to do. Don't beat them down into the ground, which means we're going to take the pads off of them a little bit so that we can make it. The goal is to get all these horses to the race. And that's with the big boys. You have to develop some toughness. You have to find some ways to be a little grimy with them. But at the end of the day, we can't beat our guys into the ground because they're precious to us.
Yeah.
As far as those big boys, I ain't never been 300 pounds. Now,
yeah.
There's certain ways you got to handle those guys.
Yeah.
Football is a tough and it's a rigorous sport, and we got to make sure their bodies can handle the demands that we're going to place on them. So it means we have to love them up and take the pads off of them sometimes, and that's what we got to do in order for us to be able to play 60 minutes of football, at a high level.
So you you've been here just a couple months. Anything surprise you about Waldorf? Anything that was unexpected? Like, wow, this is a nice surprise. Or what's your overall feel about, small town, middle of nowhere, small university? Is there anything, because you've seen those beautiful parts of the country, and then we got to introduce you to Iowa winners right away, which was nice. What are some of the things that your takeaways, just from that short time, here in Forest City and Waldorf University and the program?
Well, so when I first got on campus, the first thing that I saw was the coming into the. So I came in by Quick Star. I don't know, y'all know where Quick Star is.
Yeah, I buy it every
Coming
day.
off of, was that 9?
Yep.
Yes.
It's 9 coming. So I come across and I pulled into town and it was ice and slush on the road. So I stayed at the Cobblestone for 2 nights. That morning on my first day of work, I come in and the first thing that I see, somehow I ended up going through town and facing the new building. What's the name of the new building right there across from the field house?
The Bowman.
Bowman Fine Arts Center.
So that's the first thing. I look over there and I see Bowman, and then I see the field house, and then I see the stadium, right? I drive over, pull up to the D-Jack and walk inside D-Jack. Go upstairs and see Coach. I look around and I walk up the stairs. First, you see the locker room. You walk in, everything's wrapped, all nice and neat. With signage and things like that. I hadn't seen the turf room yet, so I walk up the stairs and the first thing I see is those doggone mannequins. They scared the bejesus. All right, so and then for a week and a half, those mannequins scared me because I tended to be there late at night.
Oh, yeah.
So I come in late at night and it's like, the doggone mannequins. All right. Yeah. So I say that to say this. Waldorf University's facilities are much better than I expected to see. Because, I didn't come here to see the place before I accepted the job. I just said, I'm coming. And I knew that it had to be okay if Coach was here. He's not going to do anything. He's a stand-up guy. And he kind of gave me the laydown of, what it was before I got here. So I say all that to say this. People think that NAIA athletics is less than sometimes. All right. But the truth is, Waldorf University has a lot of things that are better than some Division I institutions that I've been a part of.
Wow.
I'm just throwing that out there. Now, I'm not saying what it is, who it is, or anything, but what I'm saying is that Waldorf University and these athletes should be proud of what they do have and take care of what they do have.
Yeah.
So, and from what I see, it's, you guys do a really good job, and I can see why this would be called the best small college experience on earth.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't experienced the tailgate or anything like that.
Oh, you will.
I know.
You will, young man.
I know that, that weight room, Aiden and them do a really good job. I walk in the weight room, there's 16 racks in the weight room. Where do they do that at?
And that's what we talked about this talking to Coach Calloway last week, how refreshing it is for us because you constantly compare yourself against those perennial national champions and those some of those schools that have a whole pile of money and they have kind of the prettiest, shiniest stuff, and you kind of look at our stuff and this is what we have is like, maybe it could be a little bit nicer. Maybe the turf field is going to help a lot.
Sure.
But the reality is it's nice to hear from Coach Calloway and from you, Coach Gales, that, we do have a lot to be proud of, and we are super proud of Waldorf. And one of the things that I'm excited for you to experience your first time is our game day Saturday at home.
Yeah.
We think we do something pretty special here. I'll always remember 2 years ago, the last game of the season, we played Morningside. That went about as you could expect. Morningside's a good football program. And Coach Ryan is standing on midfield talking to head coach Chop at the time, and he's like, what do you guys got going on today? And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, all the people. It's Saturday, coach. And he's like, really?
Yeah.
And so he just, somebody from Morningside was relatively impressed that, we have, at the time we hadn't won a football game and still haven't, but in the GPAC at least. That's one of the things we're proud of. We're proud of this community. We can't wait to show off to you, to the, just to the whole thing. It's a new day with Waldorf football. With Coach Callaway and now Coach Gales, and you have some holes to fill in your staff, but that'll come. You get those pieces in. I'm sure you probably have people in mind and things like that, and that's going to be exciting to see how it all comes together.
There's no concern.
Yes, that's right, Coach Callaway. That is no concern.
Not a concern.
No.
I what Andy said is true. I think when I build something, and somebody looks at it and they go, "Oh, wow, that looks great," but I'm like, this corner over here isn't perfectly mitered. I mean, I'm picking out all the things that I know is wrong. So like, if you point that out, they're like, well, I guess I didn't notice that, and so I think that's part of what it is for us is like, we live here. It's our community. Both of us went to Waldorf back in the day, and you want us to be, as awesome as we can be. And so sometimes we just, don't see the forest for the trees. And it's very refreshing to hear you and Coach Callaway said a similar thing last week. And so that's good for our fan base to hear too. We got a lot of good things going on at Waldorf, and instead of pointing out maybe the poor miter on a corner, maybe we ought to be taking a look at the whole building itself.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. So Coach, one of the things, we've talked a lot of football, and that's good. What do you do when you're not coaching football? You got 7 grandkids, so that's gonna keep you pretty busy. But what do you like to do in your spare time, if you have any?
Well, so whenever I get a chance, I like to get to them, if I can. I love to spoil those youngsters. And, Paw-Paw is, he's the guy. Right? Paw-Paw's the guy.
Oh yeah, we all are.
Sometimes they get lazy and they just call me Paw. But when they want something, it's Paw-Paw.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
So I try to get to them as much as I can. I like to try to do things that my wife enjoys when I have free time. Whether it be sitting up watching. So we binge watch a lot of TV.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
All right, and the thing we're on right now is the Lincoln Lawyer. If y'all haven't watched it,
I started watching it. My wife was into it, and
I haven't watched it, but I think I've caught an episode.
That's what we're doing. When we get a free moment, but those situations are a little few and far between right now, just with the rate that we're recruiting. So
right,
it's kind of a situation where we got to get it in when we can.
Yeah.
And, I'm spending a lot more time on the phone with other folks, and she's okay with it right
That's
now.
good.
She knows that we're on a mission here. We're trying to win some football games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she knows.
So you watch Bridgerton?
No.
Me either.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. It might have been on. I might have watched it.
But so other than that though, I try to take advantage of those opportunities with the wife, with the children. I do have a PlayStation 5, so
you get some time on that.
yeah, no. So I don't do football though. I don't do Madden or anything like that, or NCAA.
Yep.
I'm a Call of Duty guy.
Oh yeah,
Man.
Person.
All right. That's surprising a little bit. I tried Call of Duty, and I couldn't. You know how at the beginning of Call of Duty they have, little training.
Mm-hmm.
Like little train before you even start playing Call of Duty. You do like a training exercise. So you learn how to operate all the buttons and what you're supposed to do. I couldn't get through the training,
Right.
which is very frustrating.
Yeah.
Especially for an Army guy.
Yeah, that's part of what it was.
Yeah,
I was
absolutely.
a little upset about that. I'm not now to be completely transparent. I was playing that in my Army office, so I should have been probably doing other things anyway.
Well, one of the things we always like to do too, Coach, is introduce Warrior Nation to your family. 6 kids, 7 grandkids. Where are they located? What's life look like for them?
Okay. Well, I got to start with the wife,
Of course.
Izzy Gales, and she's here with me in Forest City. My oldest son is Darius Forrest. He is in San Diego, California. He's in the Navy.
God bless him.
Him and his wife, Amber. His wife's name's Amber, and his son, Carson. Carson is he's approaching 1.5 now, I want to say. Yeah, he's a toddler. He's running around.
Yeah.
We missed it. We weren't there when he started walking, but we get plenty of video and all that good stuff. And so that's the vacation destination. The next go around is we're probably going to end up going to San Diego. So that's Darius. I have a daughter who is living in Boston right now with her boyfriend and her son, and she's got a bean in the oven.
Nice.
Her name is Anastasia Forrest. I have a daughter named Cassidy Lane. She is a graduate of Duke. She went to Duke and graduated in 3.5 years.
Wow.
And she lives in Rogers, Arkansas. She does, what do you call it? The word is leaving me.
Well, Rogers, she works for Walmart then. That's actually Bentonville, Arkansas.
I know where Rogers is.
Rogers, yeah, that's the homo. Wasn't it? No, or was that-
Logistics. She does
Logistics.
She
Ah,
does
yes.
logistics for Rhino,
Okay.
the propane.
Yeah, oh, yeah, Blue Rhino.
Yeah, she does.
Between.
Blue Rhino.
All right.
Between somewhere, I mean, it's north of Little Rock.
She's going to listen to this and be so mad at her daddy.
No, and that's like, I'll tell you, because you said you're down in Fayetteville, and, the Fayetteville, Rogers, Bentonville, Eureka Springs is further off, but like, that's just such a beautiful area. My wife and I
Ozark.
vacation down there, and yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we ate at a place down at Fayetteville that was the best breakfast I've had in a long time. So I'm sorry, Coach, didn't mean to interrupt, but
I forgot to turn the camera on you. That was just all narrative. I was just watching his reaction. Do you tell him?
good.
So I have three boys and 3 girls, and the next young lady is Talasia. Talasia has 4 children. They are Jace, who is 10. Jace is 10. Yeah. See, I got so many. I got to remember.
Good on you, man.
Jace is 10. Ava is, I want to say 6 or 7.
You can get yourself in trouble, Coach. I'm
Yeah.
just telling you right now.
No, they understand.
Yeah.
They understand. They know what time it is. I ain't gonna tell them no
Yeah.
That's
about
true.
anything.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So, and then Gia is turning 3 this weekend,
Oh, man.
and Demir, who is just started walking, he is 1.
That's great.
And yeah, so they're in Jeff City, Missouri. So when I got the job at Lincoln, they followed me from Pine Bluff, and then her husband Dirk was fortunate enough to get a job. He's a welder.
Oh, yeah.
If anybody needs a welder, I know a really good one.
Yeah.
Get him up here.
Yeah.
We can find something for him, right?
Yeah, they followed
Absolutely.
me to Jeff City, and he's doing really well for himself there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Welders do great. I mean, if you're a good welder, I
He
mean,
works for Modine. Y'all ever heard of Modine?
I don't think I have.
Okay. I think they make like radiators or something,
Okay.
or air conditioner units or
Yeah.
something like that. Something important that he works a lot and makes a pretty good living.
Good for him.
My son Devon, who you may see here, he's applied to school here.
oh,
And
excellent.
He's got a little bit of eligibility left, I think.
Ooh.
We're gonna keep that on the hush right now.
Yeah.
all right.
Didn't hear it.
And then my son Braden, who just got married not too long. He's got a son on the way. So that's where I went this past weekend, and came back to a blizzard.
Yeah.
So, and they're all in the Arkansas area. So Rogers, Arkansas, Fayetteville, and then Jeff City, Missouri.
Yeah.
And then Boston, and then San Diego. So that's where my youngins are, and all their kids. I can't keep up with them. Pretty soon I'm going to have 10 or 12 grandkids, and then it's going to be
Jealous.
So two of my kids haven't started having kids yet. So I've already got that many, and I'm still waiting on two.
Nice.
Oh, that's great.
Coast to coast and a whole bunch in the middle. That's nice.
Yeah, and it would be more than wonderful to have your whole family up here sometime this fall to watch you coach and get to know them and see the little ones screaming for Paw-Paw on the sideline.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Greatest thing.
Well, yeah, but they ain't gonna be screaming for Paw-Paw. They're gonna be doing some other stuff. They might be running around tackling folks. If you want to pick up football game, just turn them loose down there in the end zone somewhere, and you'll get a good pickup football game. And it ain't gonna be no flag. It's gonna be
Full on.
yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, because all you got to do is throw them into the tailgate, and there's all sorts of kids
a lot
down
of
there
action.
tossing the ball around, boys, girls, the whole work. So they'll fit in just like that round peg that we talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, one of the things we always like to do, Coach, is since we've gone past our hour, which is great.
See, I shouldn't have started rambling.
No,
That's
no. This is awesome. Yeah,
we
this
do.
is going to be another great episode. But we always like to give our guests that last word, whether you want to say something to the family, the fans, the staff, the players, or everybody, or anything like that. So yeah, we just kind of put you on the spot. So we're going to give you the last word as we wrap up this episode of the podcast, Coach.
Okay. Well, really, what I would like to say to Warrior Nation is be patient. We're gonna do some things that may seem a little unordinary, but we're setting the foundation for where we're gonna put the bar.
That's
Nice.
awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Well, it's great, folks. You got to know Coach Jermaine Gales just a little bit. The proof is going to be in the pudding as we navigate through spring ball that starts on Monday. That's going to be exciting to just kind of see how everything that you've done comes together. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then, of course, we'll have the summer and just the anticipation of fall. And the more that we do these podcasts, the more excited we all get. I mean, so it's going to be wonderful. So I think that's going to do it for this episode of the Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast. Thank you, everybody, for taking some time out of your day and getting to know Coach Jermaine Gales. I hope you're excited because we sure are. Well, that's it, Troy.
Absolutely. That's
All
it.
right. So for Troy Thompson, this is Andy Buffington, and forever and always, go Warriors.
Tailgate smoke rises under the sky. Laughter and cheers as the moments fly. Players suit up with fire in their veins. This is our home where passion remains. The podcast echoes the stories we share. The live show reminds us we're always there. The best small college where legends are born. A family united in a bond never torn. Forever and always go Warriors, we shout. With fans in the stands, there's never a doubt. Game day Saturdays where memories ignite. Under the lights we fight the good fight.
You can join the Waldorf Gridiron Club and be part of the best small college football experience in America. Just visit our website and pick your membership level at waldorfgridironclub.org. You can also click on the Support the Show link in the show notes to donate.